Hi, I'm David Burton, joined by my teammates Corey Mansfield and Sagan Chowdhury, and this is Group 1's presentation for our Project 4. Our company MacroBlock has just produced the Ether engine, a downloadable game creation engine that was created to make development accessible, empowering, and easy. Our product features an intuitive user interface, tutorials for people who may be trying out a creation engine for the first time, and expansive packs featuring more assets for the more experienced developers. We'll be releasing more packs as time goes on, and as our company's creative team grows alongside the modern needs of the gaming community. As far as our goals go, in the long term, we're looking to build a broad enough library that anyone who starts with our engine can also finish with the exact same product. We want our user base to have the tools to create games that represent themselves and their ideas reliably and truthfully. We believe in fostering a welcoming community by seeking out new ideas while making creators feel welcome in their pursuit. Our user interface will make finding an asset packet that fits your needs easy, from maps and items to script writing and character creation tools. We want our company to create new game designers out of those whose voices aren't broadcast as loudly. Considering the existence of pre-established game engines focused on simplifying game development, it's pretty easy to ask why we wanted to create this. And the reason is because of limitations. Many similar game creation engines simplify their focus by limiting their creation to one genre of games. This is due to code complexities or overall simplification for sake of branding. Our Ether engine is expansive and specialized to fit a majority of cases. While we seek to mimic the ease of use in other gaming engines, we also seek to surpass and compete with their usefulness. Any situations that our assets don't cover will be covered in a future update, and the updates will continue based on the current asks of the community. At the heart of MacroBlock, our core values are accessibility, diversity, and empowerment. We believe that anyone with a story to tell should have the tools to bring it to life. That's why our mission is centered around the user experience and around thoughtfully designed creative spaces. Whether someone is just a curious player with an idea or a seasoned developer, we want the Ether engine to open the door for their game to be possible. We are committed to amplifying marginalized voices and making sure that representation exists behind the scenes of game development. As we continue growing, we've asked ourselves some key questions to guide us. The first being, what is the biggest need that we see the gaming community face today? This question prioritizes engagement with the community around us. If we're providing a service, then how can we make sure that that service stays useful? We want to constantly observe and interact with the gaming community around us, and we want to continue evolving alongside it. Our second question is, how will we continue to prioritize our fundamental values in our practices and our outreach? We want our values to be clear from our actions, so tying the two together will help keep us accountable while making sure that our values are always considered in every step forward. The third and final question is, what are the ways that we can foster a welcoming community of acceptance and respect, especially to the benefit of marginalized creators? This question helps focus our attention back to the community that we're highlighting. The struggles that creators face must be addressed and actively countered by the community that we foster. Once we understood our goals, mission, and key questions, we set about making OKRs.
So our first OKR is about the versatility and the capability of the Ether engine itself. So more specifically, in 1 quarter, we want to focus on expanding the database of assets that are offered within the engine, and we also want to improve the interface of the engine itself. And that's because as the years continue and technology continues to improve, we want to keep up with the growing expectations of people who make and play games. So this might involve hiring 10 new artists and focusing on the interview process and defining what we want in a skill set. We'll also want to create 240 new graphic assets and 40 new sound assets. Um, and we'll also want to develop 3 experimental user interfaces so that we can test new ideas and see if we can improve how intuitive the engine is. The main thing that we need to be careful with is mostly our assets. There are maybe cases where young players or developers might be exposed to mature genres or content, and so ideally using external age verification, we can put some mature assets behind specific packs. And then we'll also want to establish a firm terms of use so that we can avoid people misusing the assets or using them for offensive projects or anything like that. And we'll also want to make sure that the artists who make the assets are properly attributed.
Our second OKR addresses marketing and building a brand through social media. Our marketing team will build and uphold a strong, engaged community of creators that collaborate with us to refine our engine in order to build a trusted brand in the game development scene. We'll utilize the gaming community as a means of collaboration, listening to their reactions and staying connected to what they're looking for. We'll listen to these reactions and seek out critique through their engagement. To track our metrics, we'll be measuring total follower growth. We'll pay close attention to engagement rates through likes, comments, and shares online, as well as analyzing video retention rates. This leads into our experimentation, where we'll use different video lengths and topics to measure the most effective content. Additionally, we'll host gaming competitions with themes so that more developers can be reached and introduced to our product. We acknowledge that the gaming community is filled with youth and adults alike, of all ages, all orientations, and all races, which is why the decision of who to collaborate with is one that must uphold our values. How do we avoid being tied to conflicts? How will we limit access to the more violent, mature themed packs? To manage these ethical issues, we've implemented a code of conduct which outlines our core values, as well as any unacceptable topics or content, the expected ethical conduct of a partner, the process of our collaborator team relations, and our commitment to response-driven results. We'll be paying close attention to the North American Entertainment Software Rating Board. This will guide which ads and posts are a fit for everyone and which ones should be limited to a mature audience. When downloading our assets, different packages will have different ratings. Seeing as they will be distributed on the same platforms as our main engine, we'll only upload mature packets to sites who can verify ages before allowing download.
Our main objective is to deliver exceptional support while strengthening trust and fairness with players. To do that, we aim for a customer satisfaction score of 90% or higher, keep first response times under 2 hours, resolve at least 80% of issues on first contact, and maintain a net promoter score of over 50. We also plan to reduce our ticket backlog by 30% through better efficiency and responsiveness. To track progress, we will monitor metrics like CSAT, NPS, response time, resolution rate, and backlog. We'll also test new support strategies such as live Q&A sessions, Discord moderation, hackathons, and improved self-service tools like FAQs or an AI chatbot. After each interaction, surveys will help us gather feedback and understand player sentiment. Ethically, we must ensure fairness and protect privacy and support staff well-being. Collecting survey data requires transparency and compliance with privacy laws. We also need to manage risks like burnout among support staff, bias in moderation, and maintaining healthy boundaries between player staff, and the broader community. Overall, these efforts help us to improve support quality while addressing financial privacy, conflict of interests, and rights related risks across all stakeholders.
So, in our cultural policy, our values mostly center around our connection with the community. We understand game development to not just be an industry, but also a means of fostering talent and artistic creativity and telling stories. And so we want people to view our company as a sort of channel or a tool through which these stories and this talent can be given a voice and can be amplified. And so this means that when we're making assets or tutorials or designing any part of the engine, we want to prioritize an intuitive and user-friendly design in order to make sure that our engine can reach and assist as many people as possible. And that's the accessibility of it. And this is also true when considering the diversity of the consumer base that we want to welcome and encourage. We want to especially focus on groups that may be marginalized or that may struggle to share their games to wide communities or face any challenges in doing so. There are some companies that during Pride Month they might switch to Rainbow for the whole month and then just switch it right back. But we want to kind of be the opposite of that. Our support of these communities, like people of color and LGBTQ+, we want it to be very active through our diversity in our team and our assets, and also making sure to give them the spotlight during game creation events. In our culture and our workspace, we really value the power of games in order to tell stories and especially to bring communities together. Our values, they really motivate us because we want to ensure that game development is an equal space for anyone, no matter their skill level, to share their stories and to also experience the accomplishment of learning and making their games. We want to make sure to welcome everyone and reject any sort of exclusion or intolerance. Even though the barriers to inclusivity can be kind of frightening, we want to understand them and know the people who might oppose them and criticize it, because that gives us motivation to keep fighting and making our space very open. And 6 words that describe our culture are community, acceptance, transparency, innovation, progress, and diversity. And these are mostly about how we present our company to this community that we value. In our workplace and in our outreach, we want to encourage forward moving, innovative mindsets, and we want to welcome everyone and all ideas.
Today, I'm going to walk through some of the core parts of our ethics policy, as well as introduce the members we'd like to include on our board. Starting with accessibility, our main goal is to make sure the project is fair and accessible to everyone. Our product Ether Engine will be enough for users to fully develop a game from start to finish. On top of that, we'll offer additional packages that come in both smaller and larger options. These packages include characters, maps, and items either bundled together or available individually, so users can purchase exactly what they need. The engine itself will be downloadable on PC or Mac, either through common distributors or directly from our own website. And across everything, our website, the engine UI, all our digital spaces, we're focusing on making them intuitive and user-friendly, including support like screen reader compatibility and alt text. Next is inclusion. We expect kindness, professionalism, and positivity from our employees, both internally and when engaging with the community. We don't exclude workers and creators based on race, sexual orientation, gender, or any other discriminable features. And we're committed to building strong connections with the community, offering plenty of spaces for people to join, socialize, and participate. For professional and ethical awareness and responsibility, we are committed to following all legal and communal standards. Our advertising will be truthful, non-malicious, and not misleading. Beyond ads, we want our online presence to highlight positive and ethical content, uplifting creators and their projects and shining a light on players who have made an impact on the community. And we also take responsibility for familiarizing our employees with our ethical policies and extending that code of conduct to our partners as well. Now, moving on to the board members we want to have. First, Tim Sweeney, the founder and CEO of Epic Games and the mind behind Unreal Engine. His background in programming and game design has helped him grow Epic from small studio into one of the most influential names in the real-time 3D technology. Unreal Engine has empowered creators across gaming, film architecture, and more. He is also known for standing up for fairness, transparency, and giving developers more control over their work, especially when it comes to restrictive app store fees and exploitative monetization. Having him on our board would strengthen our cultural policy and give us guidance from someone who's already built a workplace with similar values. Next, Kate Crawford, co-founder of AI Now Institute. She is leading expert on the social, ethical, and political impact of artificial intelligence. Her work focuses on transparency, accountability, and human-centered design. With game engines using more and more AI from procedural generation to behavior modeling, her expertise would help us make sure those systems are used responsibly, fairly, and with clear communication to developers and users. She helps balance innovation with ethics, which is exactly the direction we want to maintain. Finally, Jane McGonigal, a pioneering game designer and researcher at the Institute for the Future. Her work explores how games can support human well-being and create positive and social change. She is also known for showing her gameplay can build resilience, empathy, and collaboration. And her research has shifted how our industry thinks about player engagement. With her input, we can design experiences and that are ethically grounded and emotionally enriching, focusing on player health, meaningful connection, and using games to address real-world challenges. Our core ethical commitments and the board members whose expertise would help us support and expand on those values. Thank you.